What's the point of making a phone super thin if it means cutting out something people really want? That's the big question now surrounding the iPhone 17 Air, Apple's upcoming thin and stylish smartphone that's getting a lot of attention. It might look amazing, but there's a catch, and it's something many iPhone users have been waiting for years. Let's break it down. The iPhone 17 series is still months away, but leaks and rumors are already painting a pretty clear picture, especially about this new model called the iPhone 17 Air. It's expected to replace the Plus version in the lineup, but instead of going big, Apple seems to be going slim. We're talking around 5.5 millimeters thick. That's incredibly thin, and the leaked dummy models definitely show it off. Compared to most phones today, it's like a slice of paper. But here's where things get tricky. With all this focus on design, one important feature might be left out: ProMotion. There were earlier reports suggesting the regular iPhone 17 and iPhone 17 Air might finally get ProMotion displays. That's Apple's smoother, smarter screen tech, which can go up to 120 Hz when needed and drop down to 1 Hz when idle to save power. It also enables always-on display, something current-base iPhones don't have. But new information says that's probably not happening. Instead, the iPhone 17 Air might just get a fixed 120 Hz display. That still means smooth scrolling and fast animations, but without the benefits of a variable refresh rate. In simple words, it won't save battery the same way and won't support always-on display. It feels like Apple is holding back on purpose. Keeping ProMotion exclusive to the Pro models makes sense from a business view. But it's still disappointing, especially when the Air model could have been a nice middle option. And speaking of battery, that thin body may come at a cost. A thinner phone usually means a smaller battery, and that could lead to shorter battery life. Even though Apple is likely trying to improve efficiency, there's only so much software can do when the battery size is limited. So on one side, you've got a phone that looks great, has a fresh design, and possibly a new camera island like the Pixel phones. But on the other side, you might be missing out on a smarter display and longer battery life. It's hard not to compare this to what Samsung just did with the Galaxy S25 Edge. That phone also went super thin. But early signs suggest it didn't do as well as Samsung hoped, maybe because people care more about performance and features than just looks. Could Apple be heading down the same road with the iPhone 17 Air? At the end of the day, it depends on what you care about most. If you want a phone that stands out just by how slim it is, the iPhone 17 Air could be for you. But if you want the best screen features and great battery life, it might be better to look at the Pro models. Let's see how things play out once Apple officially reveals everything later this year. What do you think? Would you choose a thinner phone if it meant losing ProMotion or getting a smaller battery? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this video useful, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss more updates like this. Thanks for watching. Is it possible for a phone to be incredibly thin and still deliver powerful performance without cutting corners on battery life? That's the question many people are asking about Samsung's upcoming Galaxy S25 Edge. Even though Samsung hasn't officially launched it yet, the phone has already appeared for pre-order in the UK through Argos, a major retailer. And with that early listing, we now have a clear picture of what this device is all about, even before Samsung's big reveal. The Galaxy S25 Edge has been making headlines for months, and now, the details from this pre-order listing have given us a solid idea of what users can expect. It features a 6.7-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X display with a resolution of 3120 by 1440 pixels. This means you'll get super clear visuals whether you're watching videos, browsing, or playing games. It runs on Android 15 with Samsung's latest One UI 7 on top and uses a powerful Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite processor made specifically for Galaxy devices. It comes with 12 GB of RAM and 256 GB of internal storage, and a 512 GB version is also expected later. However, there's no mention of a 1 TB option at this stage. The most talked about part of this phone is its design. It measures just 5.8 millimeters thick and weighs only 162 grams, making it one of the slimmest phones around. But that doesn't mean it feels weak. Samsung has used a titanium frame for added durability, just like the Galaxy S25 Ultra, and paired it with Gorilla Glass ceramic too. This combo helps the phone resist scratches and minor drops, making it strong despite its thin shape. When it comes to cameras, the rear setup includes a 200-megapixel main sensor and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide lens. The front camera is also 12 megapixels. A 200-megapixel sensor sounds impressive and should produce highly detailed shots, but the phone only has 2 rear cameras. Many high-end smartphones now include 3 or even 4 lenses, offering options like optical zoom or depth effects. So the S25 Edge might feel a bit limited in that area for people who love photography. Another thing people are discussing is the battery. The Galaxy S25 Edge comes with a 3900 mAh battery. For a phone with such a high-resolution screen and a powerful chip, this may seem a little low. Battery life in real usage could be a concern, especially for those who spend a lot of time streaming, gaming, or multitasking. It does support fast charging, but only up to 25 watts. While that's okay, it's slower than what some other flagship phones offer, which can go up to 45 watts or more. The price is another thing worth noting. In the UK, the phone was listed at $1,099, which is around $1,262 if you convert it directly. But regional pricing varies, and experts believe the US price for the 256GB version will be about $1,249. The 512GB version could cost around $1,269. That puts the phone between the Galaxy S25 Plus and the Galaxy S25 Ultra, both in terms of specs and price. So, who exactly is this phone for? The Galaxy S25 Edge seems to be aimed at users who want a sleek, stylish phone with premium materials and a high-quality display, but without going all the way up to the Ultra model. It's powerful, good-looking, and lightweight, but it also makes a few compromises. The smaller battery, fewer cameras, and slower charging may be deal breakers for some. But for others, especially those who care more about design and screen quality, it might be the right pick. With the official launch just around the corner, it will be interesting to see how Samsung presents the S25 Edge and positions it within the Galaxy S25 lineup. Will it live up to the hype? Or will users prefer the Plus or Ultra versions instead? Would you trade battery life or camera features for a phone that's thinner and lighter? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for the latest tech updates.
Apple had a bold vision for the iPhone 17 Air, creating the first fully portless smartphone. However, those plans didn't go as expected. The company ultimately decided to abandon this approach, largely due to regulatory concerns, particularly in the European Union. This device, which was intended to replace the iPhone Plus, was originally meant to rely entirely on wireless charging and data transfer, eliminating the need for any physical ports. But after careful consideration, Apple chose to take a step back, mainly to avoid potential legal complications. The idea of a smartphone without ports has been a topic of discussion for years. Some users still miss the headphone jack, while others feel that if a company is going to remove ports, it should fully commit rather than forcing users to rely on additional accessories like adapters. According to Apple analyst Mark Gurman, the iPhone 17 Air was supposed to be a major move toward a future without ports. However, Apple changed course likely because of the challenges it could face in the European market. Regulations in the EU have already pushed Apple to make significant adjustments. The most notable example is the transition from the Lightning port to USB-C, a change Apple made to comply with European standards. Additionally, Apple had to open up its ecosystem to allow third-party app stores, something it had resisted for years. With strict regulations already affecting its business, Apple likely wanted to avoid the risk of launching a portless phone that could later be deemed non-compliant. Apart from dropping the portless concept, Apple also made changes to the phone's sides. The original plan was for the iPhone 17 Air to have a 6.9-inch display.